Hi, I'm Jolene Engle, and today I want to talk to you about physical intimacy in marriage. More specifically, when a wife does not desire being with her husband. Now, there could be a multitude of reasons why a wife isn't interested in having sex with her husband. Sex could be painful. She might have respect issues towards her husband. There might be bitterness in her heart, unresolved issues, and so forth that could take place to where she doesn't want to be physically intimate with her man. But today I want to talk about a wife who their marriage is fine. She loves her husband. She thinks highly of him. She's physically attracted to him, but she just doesn't desire having sex with him. So today that's what I'm going to address. And there could be actually three parts to that. She could have low hormone issues. If she's taking the birth control pill, that could cause a low sex drive to take place in her body. She could be nursing. That's another thing that could cause a low sex drive. Obviously, if a wife is pregnant, that could alter her hormones as well. So there's a physical aspect to consider as to why your body might not desire being with your husband. So you might want to look into those things. Check with the doctor on that to just make sure that physiologically that your body is functioning properly. Another issue could be just the mental aspect. For a wife, sexual intimacy is a huge thing to a woman's mind. When we enter into marriage, we just usually have the role of being a wife. We don't have children that we're raising for the most part, unless you're, having a blended family, but we come in with just wearing the wife hat. So it's much easier to concentrate on the act of the marriage, the physical intimacy that's taken place, to where we're not so busy with life. As we bring in children into the world, and maybe you're working as well, and you're tending to the home and preparing dinner for a family, it could be very exhausting. And we're, as women, we're so used to multitasking. But in one area that we can't multitask is in regards to the marriage bed. We have to fully bring our mind there to actually enjoy it. Now, most Christian women will say, well, I don't say no to my husband. I do give my body to him, but they kind of just lay there motionless, and that's not enjoying the marriage bed. And most husbands don't want their wives to just lay there so they could just have their own physical release. They want an active participant. They want a wife who actually desires physical intimacy with them. But oftentimes we could come to the marriage bed just flat out exhausted, and the last thing that's on our to-do list that day is to be intimate with our husbands. So you have to really protect your mind and ask yourself, is this part of my marriage important? And God says that it is, because it's only designed for marriage. So you have to really look at your day and say, okay, I'm not going to overcommit. I'm not going to be so exhausted by the end of the day that by the time I come together with my husband, honestly, my mind's not there, my body's not there, and so I'll just lay there. So if you take that approach, of course, you're not going to enjoy being physically intimate with your husband. And another thing to consider is when you are with him, is he a giving lover, or is he selfish? So that could be another thing that's taken place in the marriage bed. It's very easy for a husband to have sex with his wife and just get that physical release, and then he's done. And a wife's just kind of like, hey, what about me? So she takes a lot longer to be there mentally, and she takes a lot longer to be there physically as well. So a wise husband will spend a great amount of time learning his wife's body and learning what pleases her. And a wife, you got to be vulnerable. You have to be able to say, this is important to me. This is important to my marriage. Because if you take the path of saying, I don't desire sex, therefore I'm just going to lay there or just say no to my husband, your marriage will suffer as a result of that. So the opposite side is, I'm going to make sure that my body is functioning properly, trying to uncover if there's any physiological issues going on, or try and be there mentally and prepare myself for the day, knowing that either that night or that morning I want to be with my husband, intimacy to where your mind is involved. And the next step is to say, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable with my husband and say, honey, can you do more of this? Can you do more of that? And let him know what you enjoy, because when you're enjoying the act of marriage, he is as well. And it's drawing the two of you closer together. You're going to get to experience not just the physical pleasure, but the emotional, mental, and spiritual as well. So when sex is just one-sided to just be a physical release, it's not going to be enjoyable necessarily for a wife, because she's not coming into it like a man is. So it would be wise to be vulnerable and tell your husband, these are the things I enjoy. Can you spend more time doing this with my body or that with my body? And a wise husband would heed that instruction, and just be careful that when you do come to him sharing those things, that you do it in a humble manner, because you never want a husband to feel like he's not a very good lover in the marriage bed. So I think for the most part, if you just share your heart and say, let's try some of this, or let's try some of that, or even read some books together to figure out what can make a wife's body respond to the pleasures of what's taking place in the marriage bed, I believe that over time you will come to desire that physical intimacy with your man. So I hope this helps. If you have any more conversation or any more questions on this topic, feel free to email me. Until then, keep your eyes on the Lord.